I was listening to a story on a documentary on Netflix. This guy gets himself into a really tough situation. It's not even really his fault. Things happen to him, and all of a sudden he's lost, and he has no idea where to go, and he has no idea what to do. And he's 20 years old, and he's leading a bunch of other people. And he says in that moment, I prayed with all my heart. What else could I do? And a little bit of time goes by, and he gets an answer. He says, I got an answer. He doesn't answer you with a flash of lightning. He puts something in your head that you never thought about before. And in this particular case, the idea is something that seems initially crazy. God is asking him to do something crazy, but in the midst of beginning to go in that direction of craziness, he has a miracle given to him. Deliverance. Freedom. Albert Einstein once said, in the midst of every crisis, there is great opportunity. In the midst of every crisis, there is great opportunity. I got thinking about that word crisis, a time of intense difficulty, trouble, danger. We've all had those moments, some of them very literal, sometimes some of them more metaphorical, but we all have those moments of crisis. And crisis is that moment when we are broken open, in a sense, and given a chance to have a new thought given to us. It can come to us in many different ways, of course, but a new thought. Crisis in English comes from a word crisis in Greek. It literally means the act of judging, discerning. In the ancient understanding, judgment and discernment gives us an opportunity to hear something different. And therefore, in crisis in the ancient world was both something to be dreaded, but it was also something to be welcomed. It was a blessing given to people. This guy who was leading a group of people when he was 20 years old was given a blessing to hear something new, and he did. And that blessing can be given to you and I. I mean, the one thing that I've come to realize is that we shouldn't be afraid of crisis, especially those of us who follow Jesus. We should not be afraid of crisis. Crisis is a gift given to us. It might drive us into the hard place, yes, but it is also the very place where we will hear a new thought. A new idea will come into our head as a gift. That happened to the disciples. Their leader was taken from them. They were thrust into a major crisis. They had no direction. They had no idea what they're to do, where to go, what was actually happening. In the midst of a real threat to them. In that crisis, they had the experience of a new idea. It comes when Jesus stands in front of them, finally. It didn't come as a flash of lightning. It took a little bit of time for this new idea, its seed, to take effect in their lives. Women go to the tomb and they discover it empty. Two disciples walk with the stranger on the road to Emmaus, their hometown, and they discover at the end of the journey that it's Jesus. They come rushing back, hear that Simon Peter has met Jesus raised from the dead, and then finally Jesus comes to them and reveals himself to them, the whole group, and they get to see a new thought planted directly into their mind. Maybe death isn't the end after all. The crisis is a blessing to us. It's an opportunity to think a new thought in so many facets of life. And I think what the greatest gift of crisis is that it may ask us to think again of what we think we are, who we think we are. You know, we as Christians believe that we are God's children, all of us. That there's an identity deeper than the world, one deeper than the world. That brittle, frail understanding that the world gives to us. No, there's a deeper understanding. We're all children of God, made in the likeness of heaven. The divine image and the divine life is alive in us. And if we take advantage of those crisis moments in our life, we may discover the truth of who we really are. Just remember this. God won't answer you necessarily with a flash of lightning. Rather, God will put something new in your head that you'd never thought of before.